16 WAPT News Live at 5 starts now.
Live at 5, a standoff ends peacefully in Ridgeland, the situation that shut down a neighborhood for hours. A woman accused of giving deadly butt injections headed back to court to face more charges. And a Jackson leader announces her retirement as the mayor-elect announces who's part of his transition team.
Now, your weather first.
Well, flashes of lightning. Of course, this looks like it was before the sun came up this morning. So we had an early start to thunderstorms. And right now, it's fairly quiet across the area. Live storm showed 16. Doppler radar shows a lull in the activity outside of an isolated storm or two to the south of the Jackson area, right there, crossing from Copiah into Simpson County. But look to the west. A disturbance is triggering some storms. These storms will be crossing the Mississippi River in about 1 hour. I'll let you know what you can expect coming up.
Thank you, David. New at 5, an entire neighborhood was shut down for several hours today during a standoff. I'm Darren Dito.
Well, it ended peacefully, Darren. We can tell you a man with a shotgun threatened to hurt himself on Bryceland Boulevard near Old Canton Road. 16 WAPT's Aaron Kelly is live on the scene with an update for us. Aaron.
Now, it happened on this street. We're not sure which house, but police did block off nearby areas. Officers and SWAT members surrounded the home. Tonight, that man is okay. Police say around 11:30, they got a call that a 55-year-old man barricaded himself alone in his home. He had threatened to hurt himself. Mental counselors worked with police to talk him out safely.
And after a good bit of negotiating with him, we were able to talk him out of the house without incident. He is in the custody of medical personnel at this time, being taken in for mental evaluations and some treatment there.
Live in Ridgeland tonight, Aaron Kelly, 16 WAPT News.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. We can tell you right now a big drug bust in Pearl today as police found jars of weed inside a car. Officers just happened to be in the parking lot of O'Charlie's right near Tinseltown when they smelled a strong odor. They say they found Matthew Leonard sitting in his car smoking pot along with nearly a pound of the drug and cash. Police say he was taking that weed from Colorado to Florida. A scare this afternoon at the Hinds County Courthouse after a bomb threat was called in there. Employees were evacuated, but after a sweep of the building, officers found no evidence of a bomb and everyone was allowed to return to the building. The woman accused in 2 deadly butt injection cases pleaded not guilty in court today. Our camera was the only one in the courtroom. 16 WAPT's Andrew Kinsey shows us Tracy Lynn Gardner did not have much to say.
Anything to say about these new charges?
Only a few words from Tracy Lynn Gardner as she made her way back into the Hinds County Courthouse Tuesday to face a second murder charge. Investigators with the Attorney General's office rearrested Gardner Thursday after prosecutors filed this indictment against her. It accuses her of injecting a fake silicone substance into 23-year-old Marilyn Hale's buttocks back in 2010. The Alabama woman died hours later from respiratory failure.
Did you know Ms. Hale?
Gardner is already facing the same charge for the butt injection death of Karima Gordon of Atlanta. Detectives say she died after the silicone-like substance caused blood clots in her lungs.
She's been compliant. She's on house arrest.
Inside the courtroom, Gardner entered a not guilty plea. Her attorney says prosecutors have no evidence to connect her to the crimes.
Got allegations is all they have, and they have an indictment. There is no proof that she committed either one of these crimes.
Prosecutors disagree. They claim Gardner is an extreme threat to the community.
Victim that died. We're talking about young women that died trying their life.
A judge has put a gag order in place which prevents attorneys on both sides from talking about this case. Tracy Lynn Gardner is set to go to trial on her initial indictment on March 17th. In downtown Jackson, outside the Hinds County Courthouse, Andrew Kinsey, 16 WAPT News.
Tonight, a judge is considering whether to grant bond to Gardner on this new charge. He's expected to make a decision by tomorrow. And Darren, you have some new information about Jackson Mayor-elect Chokwe Lumumba's transition team.
Yeah, Stephanie, today he announced who would be on that team to help him take office in July. 16 WAPT's Tammy Eswick is alongside tonight. So, Tammy, who got picked?
That's right. A 9-member transition team. Chokwe Lumumba handpicked himself. Everyone from an IT professional to a lawyer, from someone with the ACLU to a financial expert. Now, Lumumba says his team is diverse when it comes to age, professions, and race.
There's 9 people on the team. 2 of them are white, right? The city of Jackson is 80% black, and if I count that right, that's a little bit better than the percentage of the city in Jackson as far as the white participation on the committee. As it relates.
And Darren, at 6, we'll name the names and tell you how each person could benefit the team.
Well, Tammy, I hear they already have a pretty big task.
That's right. Police Chief Rebecca Coleman says that she is retiring, and that could be their first task, is filling her position.
And she's leaving office at the end of this month.
That's right.
Thanks, Tammy. We'll see you at 6. Well, 2 Simpson County inmates who escaped during a work detail on Monday morning are back in jail tonight. The sheriff says Patrick McMillan and Billy Joe Gunter were part of a work crew when they escaped on Highway 541 near the Rankin County line. They were captured around 7:30 last night near the Martinville community, which is not far from where they escaped. Both men were in jail on misdemeanor charges, including old fines and failure to pay child support. Now to a 16 WAPT News exclusive. Yazoo City officials have not yet announced any policy changes after a 6-year-old boy was run over by a city-owned tractor. Amarian Brown ended up with 9 stitches on Monday night. Police say a worker left the keys in the ignition at Campanella Park and another child jumped on the tractor. Amarian's mother wants to know who's accountable.
His daddy died like two days away from here, so just for him to just be in an accident like this, for him for somebody to leave a key in a tractor when nothing but kids out here.
The mayor tells us he is looking into this incident. We are still waiting to hear back from parks and rec officials. Tonight, Jackson police continue their search for a gunman who robbed 4 people at a church. Police were called to the Northminster Baptist Church on Ridgewood Road on Monday night. The victims say they were in front of the church when they noticed a black Camaro parked in the back. They say a man then snuck up on them with a gun and stole their wallets and cell phones. No one was injured. Now, another incident happened Thursday, June the 13th, where 4 more people were robbed at a church. Police believe these people are targeting churches in North Jackson. If you have any information about this case, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number is always 601-355-TIPS. Another big win last night for the Mississippi State Diamond Dogs at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. It was a close one, though, with the Hoosiers. State came back from an early deficit to hold on for the 5-4 win over Indiana. Mississippi State needs just one more win to reach next week's best of finals. Now, they don't take the field until Friday. They will play the winner of the Wednesday elimination game, which is between Indiana and Oregon State. Well, Stephanie, not much progress on that proposed harbor walk up in Ridgeland, I hear.
Yeah, not at all. The developer of that planned Reservoir Area Hotel has another year to work on it. Yesterday, Reservoir leaders approved a lease extension for Harbor Walk. They've extended the deadline for construction of a hotel on a yearly basis. 9 years after taking on that project, the developer told us he does not have the money yet to get it done.
What has changed since last year?
Nothing.
Why not?
Why not what?
Why hasn't anything
It's
changed?
money, honey. I paid him $650,000 last year.
The developer says he needs hundreds of millions of dollars to complete that project. Under pressure from the U.S. government, Chrysler agreed today to recall 2.7 million Jeeps. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration had given the car maker until today to comply. Certain Jeep models are recalled because of the risk of fuel leaks and fires in rear-end crashes. To find out if your car is affected, head to our website, WAPT.com. It is one of the most significant challenges to Roe versus Wade. The House is taking up a partial ban on abortion tonight. 16 WAPT's Nicole Killian is in Washington with more on the controversial challenge.
Stephanie, supporters say the vote is historic. Opponents call it a war on women, and it made for quite a polarized showdown on the House floor.
In her testimony,
it was a debate that at times got graphic,
stay out of our health care and leave us alone,
and vocal.
Please stop trying to regulate our reproductive organs. They belong to us.
As the House considered a ban on late-term abortions.
It's our responsibility to protect the most vulnerable who cannot protect themselves.
The bill, known as the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, would prohibit nearly all abortions after a fetus reaches 20 weeks.
By 20 weeks of development, unborn children are able to feel and react to pain.
Pro-choice lawmakers called the measure, which is a direct challenge to Roe versus Wade, unconstitutional.
Now we have before us a bill that is born of ignorance and disregard for medical science.
GOP leaders defended the bill.
The vast majority of the American people believe in the substance of this bill, and so do I.
The House action follows nearly a dozen states which have already taken similar steps.
This bill is just one of many, many threats we're seeing to reproductive rights across the country, so it's helpful to look at the whole context of what's happening.
Anti-abortion advocates say even if the legislation doesn't advance in Congress, it's still significant.
We will continue to push for it. We will not let it rest. It's too important.
The White House has threatened a veto, saying the bill is an assault on a woman's right to choose. In Washington, Nicole Killian, 16 WAPT News.
Well, voting should be getting underway right now. We'll let you know how our House members from Mississippi voted tonight after the game. The head of the National Security Agency says more than 50 terrorist plots have been thwarted by 2 government data gathering programs that used to be top secret. Intelligence leaders say those 2 programs helped to connect the dots, and they disclosed details on several plots they were able to stop. Plots to bomb the New York Stock Exchange, the city's subway system, and a Danish newspaper office were among those detected and disrupted.
Provided the U.S. government with critical leads to help prevent over 50 potential terrorist events in more than 20 countries around the world.
They trouble me because of the breadth and the scope of the information collection. They trouble me because I think this is historically unprecedented.
General Keith Alexander says former government contractor Edward Snowden had the necessary top secret clearance, and there's an investigation underway to determine how much oversight was provided, where it broke down, and what can be done in the future to better manage access to this information. Well, weather is blamed for a train derailment that involved nearly 40 cars. Those trains carrying 71 cars was traveling from Clovis, New Mexico to Amarillo, Texas Monday. The National Weather Service says winds gusting up to 100 miles per hour derailed those train cars. No one was hurt. All right, let's turn it over to David now, and you're going to show us where there's a possible threat for evening storms.
Well, you know, over in Vicksburg right now, skies cloudy, and here in Jackson, the sun's been breaking out, so the early evening looks fairly quiet. That will be changing. Storms will be moving into the Vicksburg area in about 1 hour's time, and I think parts of the Jackson metro area and South Mississippi in for a round of storms this evening as well. I'll explain, show you the latest radar coming up.
The U.S. is handing over military control to Afghanistan, how Afghans are responding tonight, and more searching for the remains of a former mobster who disappeared nearly 40 years ago. You're watching 16 WAPT Live at 5.
16 WAPT News Emmy Award winner for the best newscast in the Southeast region for 2 years in a row. And the Associated Press winner for best newscast, weathercast, and sportscast. 16 WAPT News is the one to watch.